Here's your test. Hi, welcome to a new episode of 2 vs. 3. I'm Kyle. That's Cody.
Hello?
And Greg.
Yep.
I'm a little drunk. I got a head start on the boys. But I think I'll just make things interesting. Pouring beer on myself already.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So we made it all the way to A New Hope.
Yeah.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. Yes, that's...
They're into the good ones now.
And cheers.
Alright, yeah, cheers to episode 4.
Oh,
Basically a month's worth of podcast.
like I said, we're committed to things.
So, I'm just going to say right off the bat what I've been thinking of nonstop lately. I don't know about you, but I just downloaded the game The Witness by Jonathan Blow. I got it on PlayStation. And it's been fucking taking over the way I look at the world. For those of you that don't know, it's a puzzle game that's very similar visually to the game Myst, where you're stuck on an island and you have to go around basically just solving puzzles. And what seems like a game that I thought I would be really fucking bored with, it's got me obsessed with it. You recently got it, Kyle.
Yeah, I got it a couple days ago, I guess. It doesn't have its hooks in me quite as much as it seems to have in you. I'm not, you're texting me like pictures of lamps that look like puzzles.
Well, man, like today Greg was like, I got this Chewbacca lunch kit. And he brought it out to me. I was like, I walked up to it, I was like, so I would start there. I was just going around all these squares. I saw these puzzles. But no, I find it a really rewarding game in the sense that I've not felt that rewarded while playing a game in, like, since the first time I played Ocarina of Time or something.
Yeah, it definitely gives you back what you put into it. You know, it's super frustrating at times when you're stuck on something and you just don't know how to get by it. But then the next 10 minutes from then, you might feel like a genius when you finally clue into what it is. And you feel like, holy shit, I'm the smartest guy ever. I'm learning so much. And I don't know, it's really interesting. I think it's a really interesting example for games, like being able to show you like a good inside of someone's, like, for lack of a better word, genius.
Yeah.
Like, obviously Jonathan Blow is a pretty smart dude, coming up with all those puzzles and everything, and it's not made entirely by himself, but let's say he did.
It is a small team.
Yeah,
I think it was under like maybe around 5 people or something like that.
Yeah, and I always think it's like hard in a book or something to show that someone's smart, other than like it's a well-written book, and like you're like it brings up new ideas for me, but it's not really like an example of how smart that person is, you know. And it makes you feel smart in like this weird false way where you're like, oh, I read about Sherlock Holmes, he's so smart, it makes me feel smart. But this is like a real example of like you learning, albeit a completely useless skill in the real world, like learning stuff, you know. Like you definitely.
But yeah, Greg, you haven't actually played the game yet, but you've watched it. What's your opinion on it?
Well, I don't know. I don't feel like you guys did a really good job explaining what the game's about, or like really explaining the game. You're just
How would you explain it by not even playing it and only watching it?
Okay, it's the plot to the game Lost. I mean, the TV show Lost. It's like, you know, you're on this island. Your character seems pretty androgynous. Like, you just see its shadow, and you know you can't tell if it's a guy or a girl. There, you know, there's like the only people you see are statues, and they seem to be like almost if they were turned into statues like really quickly, like they were stuck in motion.
So we're gonna have a bit of spoiler alerts for those who haven't played the game.
I'm not really. There's no spoilers.
Really.
This is what you asked. Maybe this is. I don't know.
The discovery of everything.
But like what I find intriguing, like, and
I
haven't played it, is like I'm already curious to what this whole universe is. Like I want to know what's going on. Like there's no explanation, and then these puzzles that they're talking about. Like, I don't know. They're really strange because.
Well, I love the
no
idea
explanation on how to solve it.
That the game is completely non-verbal, other than like the audio.
Oh, so yeah, there's another thing. Yeah, like
so I haven't even found an audio log yet.
Have you not?
Not a single audio log. I really.
That is really interesting to me because I read a thread on Reddit being like, I'm 400 puzzles deep. out of the just over 500 there are, haven't found a single audio log. So do you even know what you're looking for?
I saw you pick one up the first time I saw the game, and like I heard one play. So I know like what they exist. I don't really know what they look like.
Have you found any environmental puzzles yet?
I've found puzzles that are affected by the environment, but I wouldn't say I found one that's like
not where you like the land makes a puzzle.
No, I haven't found any of those yet.
So that's funny because like I would consider you ahead in the game, but I've found probably 20 of these environmental puzzles.
Yeah,
which all do their own thing, which I to this point don't know what the fuck they do.
And see, that's kind of weird to sort of just like thinking about like games that are fun because you don't understand the plot.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know, there were some of those other weird indie games we were playing on the PS4. I don't know what they were called. You're like that little kid guiding that demon soul out of purgatory or something. You got the stick, the kid with the little helmets, and all you do is jump and yell.
Are you thinking of
The Binding of Isaac?
Ico.
Yeah.
Remember that game?
No, I never played that one.
No, I like that too.
We played it.
Oh, the Japanese puzzle game.
Yeah, there's like little shadow.
No, that
things.
right,
like,
it's very similar to that in the sense that it's very stylistic and innovative puzzles.
But just
I never actually played Ego. I'll lend you guys that game. I only played the other part of it, the Shadows of the Colossus part.
That's also...
They're very similar.
Yeah.
But again, like coming back around to this, like I just read that. Well, who makes the Demon Souls games?
From Software.
Yeah, like I don't know. And there's like a couple of those games, right? Demon Souls and Dark Souls and possibly something else.
Yeah, I haven't played any of those.
Well, they just announced.
I heard they're like very difficult.
Well, and again,
so I've just stayed away.
They don't explain much of the story to you in the game. Like it's all open to interpretation. But right now they have like a short story contest where if you successfely write the plot to that game, there's like a $10,000 reward.
Yeah, the story
because it's open to so much interpretation as to like. But I guess that there is a story that they know what it is. They just haven't really explained it all that well. Or I mean, as much as they wanted to.
Have you got any sort of a grasp on a story in The Witness?
No idea. Really.
Well, especially because you haven't heard an audio log, so you
don't
know. So what I've gathered from the audio logs is that different people have come to this island throughout time. Because everyone's dated, and the years vary by hundreds of years. Not hundreds, maybe from like.
The audio logs are left from other people.
But also, I think they're quotes at the same time.
I thought they were quotes, is what I'd heard or read about it.
See, I asked that.
They are quotes, but they're still narrated by people. And everyone's a different voice, I've found so far.
Okay.
Because some are by women, some are by men.
Yeah. So you think they're like the person on the island quoting...
Well, there's obviously were multiple people on this island.
At some point.
Or
and like someone had to make it.
Ooh,
yeah.
Like being on the island, the longer you are, so you just turn into stone.
See, you're really hooked on the whole turning into stone idea. Which, who knows, these could be... They could be,
like
statues.
Yeah. Just left there for...
Someone intrigued.
Have you seen any of the big optical illusions? There's some where, like, from, like, if you stand basically in the game, like, hundreds of meters away, one entire side of the island turns into, like, a body.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that at all.
There's tons of beautiful stuff like that where it's not even a puzzle, it's just rewarding to look at.
Yeah, so for me, basically, you can kind of track your progress in the game through beams of light, which sounds weird, but I have 2 beams of light. But I really only, I got those quickly, and I've just started exploring. Like, I did those...
Yeah, see, I did a lot of exploring before I focused on any of the puzzles.
See, I've been just like, I want to get a few of these down so that I have... Because I found so many puzzles I didn't understand just when a quick walk around, so I was like, I'm going to focus and start learning what some of these might mean.
Well, that's a good idea, but there are areas where you learn the language of the area, but then you get to a point where they incorporate the language from another area into that puzzle, and if you don't know that language, you're fucked. You have to go to that area and learn that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of stuck right now. I need to go to one area and really understand how that language works.
Yeah.
Because I'm at 3 different areas where that language is incorporated into the puzzles, and I'm just fucked. I have no idea what to do.
Yeah, I've cleared like the 2 areas where I got a light, and I did another area where it led to nothing, seemingly. Like I cannot.
I've got to a few of those. I feel like those are tutorials.
Yeah, well, like I found those ones where they definitely seem like tutorials. They're just panels that do nothing. Like they don't light up more.
And there's some that lead to like pictures.
Yeah,
I've entered some like rooms where all there is a picture, basically a diagram of a puzzle, and I took a photo of it because I feel like it's gonna be important later.
Yeah. See, I have one that I finished, and it just led to like what looked like an artist's drafting table or something.
What's
I don't know what the hell. Like I couldn't figure out anything.
Well, yeah, I got to the heart one.
Yeah. That's,
exactly.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you get up to
The
like by the
trees
windmill
and
there.
Yeah.
And it's just a picture of a heart.
Yeah.
It's like,
in tree branches.
is this supposed to be philosophical or is this a puzzle?
Yeah.
What's some of your guys' favorite puzzle games from like back in the day till now?
Well, I mean, old ones. I still think Tetris is awesome.
Of course, yeah.
But actually, like a more modern one, and it's still one of my favorite games ever, is Portal and Portal 2.
Yeah, that was really innovative in the style.
Yeah, and I just
and it's something
it has
that
like a great
the
story.
the tutorial and like the way they taught you to play the game was really good. Where it got hard, but you still had all the knowledge to solve all the puzzles.
Yeah,
you know?
they slowly teach you
show
something
you how the
about
physics
this new mechanic
work.
and like.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Greg? What's some of your favorite puzzle games?
Yeah, I don't know. I really like Uncharted.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, there are puzzles
yeah.
in that game.
They are kind of fun.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily hard. The puzzles I found.
No,
I found the
it's-
action part of that game was more hard. The shoot 'em up. part of it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a game that I don't. I like those games, but neither part of those. I don't like. They don't have that great of environmental puzzles, and then they don't have that great of shooting. They have a cool story though. Like I
That
like.
grasps me. It's like I just want to be.
See, for a mix of action
explorer.
and puzzle solving, the Zelda games were always my favorite.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
And like that game itself has a language of puzzles that they have brought through every single game since the beginning. It's like, well, this is the puzzles where like you have to use multiple levels and push stones, and like after a while they don't have to explain to you that you have to move the stone around.
Yeah, like 3 games later,
you just know that that's how it works. I find that non-verbal communication really cool.
I wish that I'd gotten into some of the Zelda games. Like it's a fantasy world that I wouldn't want to get into.
You never, no. I remember I got my N64 like when it came out. I got GoldenEye, Legend of Zelda, and I was like, I'm set for the rest of my life.
As a kid, I sucked ass at Legend of Zelda.
I did too. I watched my dad play it, and he beat it.
Yeah, I could like, as an adult now, like you go back and play, I'm like, why did I suck so bad at this? But I think it was just being young and being like kind of growing up on games that were a little bit more tell you what to do.
Yeah, the second that you have to figure something out on your own, I was like, whoa, what
yeah,
the fuck?
like they don't tell you really like unless you talk to a bunch of random people and do a lot of wandering, where the hell you're supposed to be going. And like,
especially in the early games, the early ones had a huge lack of direction, but luckily the maps weren't that big.
Yeah.
So you didn't waste that much time trying to figure out where to go.
And there's problems with the later ones like Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. Those are the ones on Wii, and like the biggest complaint for those games was that like, there's like a 3-hour tutorial on those. Yeah. They explain like way too much. You're like, fuck off! I know how to swing a sword.
Yeah.
And like there's a horse and I ride it. Like let's
don't patronize your player.
Yeah, like there's got to be a happy medium of like good game.
And that's what's beautiful about The Witness is the whole you start the game. There's no communication between you and the game other than playing it.
Yeah, that's good. It's like a tutorial through gameplay is always better. It's like Super Mario. First one, they don't tell you to jump on the Goomba.
No.
But the first thing you have to do in that is jump either on or over that Goomba.
And you figure it out pretty damn quickly.
Like one try.
It's survival,
okay.
Yeah.
You either die right away and the next time, unless you're a complete moron, you jump.
Well, that's just it. And that's a puzzle of its own. It's a really simple puzzle, but...
Yeah. And that one teaches
gaming
you.
kind of starts in some form from puzzles. Like all.
Yeah, a little,
What's
problem solving anyway, yeah.
Yeah. What's like the first game?
Pong?
No,
probably some before that.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
First one.
I'll Google it right now.
It's
No, we can't start answering questions
I
now.
can't think of what the hell it is. It's like called like Space Combat or it's like something like Space Fighty, and I can't think of the damn name of it.
Like Before Asteroids?
Yeah, and I can't think of it. It was like a. What do you got there? Tennis for Two maybe is another one. That might have been it.
Well, what I got here is physicist Willie Higginbotham invents the first video game at the Brookhaven National Laboratory in Upton, New York. His game, a table tennis-like game, was played on an oscilloscope. Steve Russell, student at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, creates Space War.
Yeah,
The
Space
first
War was the
interactive
other one.
computer game. So
And then the
it's
other one
called
is
Space
tennis.
War, but it sounds like it's really similar to Pong.
Well, no, I think there's
Is
so
this
the
table
first,
tennis like?
the first one those I think those they're talking about two separate games. The tennis for two, the table tennis one was the oscilloscope one, and then the other one was the Space Wars or whatever it is, which was I think
Well, yeah, no,
Separate
they are
games.
talking about two different games. Yeah.
that one's the first one that's as far as I
Does the first one
understand,
just not have a title?
Yeah, I think it was like later called Tennis for Two or something like that. But it's like gone from history. Like you can't play that game. The
Yeah.
oscilloscope
Well,
isn't around anymore.
what
and
is that?
It was just. It's basically like a.
An early projector?
Yeah, like it was. Well, yeah, it was not even that. It was like played on early computers, which didn't even
okay.
really have like monitors and shit. Like they're like it's a different thing.
Salts
you
are
know?
constantly being printed out.
There's
I
just
don't
like
know
a,
exactly.
like a
There's
green
a
and a
good-
red light.
There's a
and
good
few
documentary on
keys.
Netflix that talks about it.
Oh, yeah?
Which I wish I could remember the name of right now. But if you just check, there's like the old, there's that Atari documentary on there, and then another one like it's just the history of video games, and they talk about that. But yeah, the first one that I think most people played would have been Pong, right? Like first you get your first home computer, like in a
Did you
Atari.
ever actually play like an original Atari?
No, I never had one.
Have you ever seen one?
Yeah,
Did you guys own an NES growing up?
I didn't own one. There was one at my grandma's.
Yeah, no,
house.
yeah, I think we talked about this
NES.
on an earlier podcast.
We talked about it on one we didn't put out.
Oh.
But yeah, it was my mom's Nintendo.
Like the one with the orange gun?
Yeah, it had the
For
Zapper.
Duck Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like the Nintendo.
Well,
Nintendo
yeah,
Entertainment System.
Yeah, Nintendo Entertainment
The
System.
NES.
Oh, that's what. Oh man.
It's
See,
the
I'm
official
such a
title.
bad. Like I'm not a gamer, man. I'm out of my element.
You are, though. You get really into video games.
Like,
Where I don't consider myself a gamer either, but the witness is definitely
yeah.
proving that wrong right now.
Well, yeah, like I don't know. The word gamer. It's weird that people even put them like. There's no name for that for someone who reads books. You know, I read books. I don't read books every day or
Holy
necessarily
shit.
every week, but I still know how to read. You know, there's not like you don't call people who read books readers, and you don't call someone who listens to
Avid
music a
readers.
music. Like you know.
Oh no, the people do have terms.
Yeah,
for
but they,
people
exactly.
Like that.
But
Yeah,
for some
we-
reason with gamer, there's like this division of like unless you're playing them every day, then you don't belong to. A
I
group
feel
or
like
something.
when
That's
someone gets labeled as a gamer, I feel like people are thinking more online play, like someone that plays online against people all the
Well,
time.
I always think of like first-person shooters.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I really just think
Like
of it as
people
just,
who are aggressive with gaming. Like they take the fun out of it.
Yeah, that's
Like I'm
stupid.
gonna rape your mom.
Like I
You
would
knew.
just consider myself like it'd be better to just say like you're a games enthusiast or something. Like that.
That sounds awful too.
But that's like
See,
what you say
I
if
also
you're
feel like a douchebag hipster when I say that I like video games because I really only like indie games and underground games.
I really just like Bethesda.
Well, there you
See,
go.
where you're the opposite. You're the polar opposite.
Yeah, like I just want to play Bethesda games.
Well, that's not like it's not
And
really
Star Wars
like
games.
there's just like there's different genres people like in music. Like you wouldn't
No.
consider yourself not a fan of music if you just ignored a certain genre. Right?
No,
Like,
but I'm
if
not
you
talking
know
about. I'm
what
not
you
talking
like-
about
Yeah.
genre. I'm talking about like level of production.
But that
So,
is
but
the
I guess
genre.
it does apply with the same way I like my music is the same way I do like
Some
my video
people
games.
only listen
I
to
do
indie
like
music.
underground.
Yeah.
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 So I don't know.
And
Maybe,
it's-
maybe I'm just a hipster douchebag.
No, well, it's just you like
You just
that
like
like
underground so that people
experimental
tell you
part
that
of
your
it.
shit
I just
sucks.
like. Yeah.
You just like you don't get it.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Exactly. I've no. I don't know.
You like the experimental part.
Yeah.
of it.
I
You
do like the
different-
experimental part.
Well, you
It's
make-
thinking outside the box, being different,
Yeah.
What
and that's easily applicable
And
to
I-
indie games.
Yeah, I like both. Like, I'll play a ridiculous, over-the-top shooter and enjoy it, but then I'll also go play, like, you know, Braid or
See,
something
I
like that.
haven't played Braid yet, which is Jonathan Blow's first game, the creator of The Witness. I don't know if it's his first, but it's his
It's
previous
just more,
game.
yeah, yeah.
Have you played it?
Yep.
Have you beat it?
No, I don't think I beat it. I don't
I
remember.
heard it's hard as hell.
It gets weird, and there's a lot of different endings to it. There's like, I think it'll happen to both of us eventually with The Witness.
Yeah,
where
I
you get,
heard
like,
there's
your-
multiple endings
your
for The
soft
Witness, too.
ending, and then your final complete, like, I did everything ending.
Yeah.
and that's something I probably won't do. I don't.
Well, he made a tweet saying it got really controversial that there's a puzzle in the game only 1% of the players will solve.
That's likely, yeah. I mean,
especially with that environmental stuff, like you have to be literally standing in the right place, pointing in the right direction to solve this puzzle.
And you look at even and that's likely has something to do with 100%ing that game. That most people just don't do that.
So what people
there's puzzles you don't need to do.
There's 800 and something puzzles in this game.
But he quoted it at 500 plus, which makes me think it's less than 550.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, then you would have said 550 plus. I had heard numbers like 8, but
no, he said in multiple interviews
it's that's 500 still a fucking lot.
And I feel like I've done.
Like 50.
I feel like I've done easily 150.
Yeah.
Because I did one section, there were chunks of 10 puzzles in a row, and I did 4 of them. It's like, well, I just did 40 puzzles in the last hour.
Is each panel, are you calling that one puzzle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if they're all connected?
Yeah. Well, I'm calling it that. Maybe not. I don't know.
I think each individual panel is considered one puzzle.
When I start, I'm just start making little ticks.
Right. Well, it tells you, actually. It tells you how many you've done.
Where does it tell you?
Just go to load game, and it'll show your game save, and it'll tell you how many puzzles.
Oh, really? Because that was really confusing me. When I went on Reddit, people were like, oh, I did this many puzzles and I'm stuck. It's like, how the fuck do you know that? And I saw a bunch of posts being like, the pond or the lake tells you certain things. The lake tells you how many audio logs you got. The only thing I can tell from that is there's a bunch of boxes floating in the water. And I've got some where it's spurting up water. I'm thinking, well, maybe I got the audio log.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know.
I'm trying not to spoil it for myself by looking online, but I can't help it.
Yeah, I've just heard from other podcasts, listening to them that a little bit about the game, but they've all been really don't talk into it about much deeper than we are, right? You don't want to spoil a panel.
It felt really cool. I went online and there was a thread being like, what does the river puzzle do? Have you found that one where you go to the top of the mountain?
Yeah, where I can change the flow of the river.
Is that what you're doing?
It looks like it. I don't know.
How does it look like it?
Well, it looked like something changed down in the river.
No, it doesn't look like it, but it doesn't. I've done it, and nothing changes.
No, I don't know then.
But I went through the comments, and no one would answer this guy. Everyone just kept saying over and over, let us know when you find out. Smiley face. Just let us know when you find out.
That
just made me so intrigued. Fuck. I like the community behind it, especially the Reddit subreddit.
Yeah, that's it's something I don't want to look at.
I texted you earlier. It was a really funny image I found online. It was a picture of Jonathan Blow, and in quotes it said, "You have to separate the blacks from the whites."
Because it's definitely
that's one of the rules in the game.
Yeah. It's a game about segregation. Separate but equal. That's Jonathan Blow's opinion on the world.
Man.
No. That would be really messed up if that was what the island was about. It's all about segregation.
I feel like it's a very philosophical game. There's multiple interpretations. So Greg, you're about to go see Deadpool in about an hour and a half. Are you going into it expecting it to be good, or?
Well, man, so many people.
There's a lot of hype, and it's making it seem really lame to me.
People, trusted sources, have told me that they think I'm going to enjoy the movie.
People that have already seen it?
Yeah.
I saw it already.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, Colin said they enjoy it.
Well, then let's hear what you're expecting, then let's hear with no spoilers how you liked it.
Well, the best thing everyone that I've heard so far has said that it's fairly true to the comic source. So, I mean, what I'm expecting...
Have you read a lot of Deadpool?
I've read enough Deadpool. Yeah.
I haven't read any. I've never read Deadpool comics. Or a comic with Deadpool in it.
Deadpool.
Oh, really? So that's. I want to.
Now,
you should see it then. I want to know.
When I was just collecting a shit ton of condoms,
That's going to be a clip.
Used and new.
When I was collecting comics, I was just getting them all willy nilly, right? And some comics you're collecting for the story arc, and others that are just fun to read. Yeah. So Batman, Superman Team Up was a comic I enjoyed reading. It wasn't part of a story arc; they were fun.
I feel like that's
Deadpool,
a good superhero series.
Yeah, you could just pick it up.
One that you can digest in 5 issues.
At most, right? It would be that. I was getting whatever. I'm getting off track. Deadpool, right? Like that was one that you could just, I'm kind of bored. That cover looks cool. I'm gonna pick out this Deadpool. You know, if you know who he is, you can just read it.
Yeah, there's
really
gonna be
matter.
like some funny.
There's
jokes
always
in it,
consistency. Yeah, it's like crude.
You're
humor.
entertained at least.
Yeah, like the one thing I was always hoping for is that reading Deadpool, there's like
Because you're not going into Deadpool looking for a deep storyline.
no, I want to be entertained as fuck. And
Yeah.
that's what you're gonna if you're making this bold movie. And
I
you're
feel like
rating
there's
it
a lot
R.
of comics right now that are like kind of blurring those lines. Like Saga, I am looking for like a deep storyline, but
No,
at
but
the same
that's-
time, I'm just happy being entertained by it.
But that's a different approach, right? Like, I mean, you're going into that with that mentality, just like going in to see this Deadpool movie. If I laugh and have a good time through the movie, and I'm not offended by their portrayal of Deadpool, then it's a good go. And I want to see multiple voices in his head.
Pretty
him
much the
talking to
only
those
thing
multiple voices.
I'm expecting from that movie is that I hope it's funny as fuck.
Yeah, like
It has to be hilarious.
well, and the good thing about this is that the creator of Deadpool has been working really closely with this film.
yeah.
And he approves. And so, I mean, to give your child away and be happy with what it came back as, I mean, that's got to be what the fans want to hear.
So Kyle, you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Without spoiling the movie for Greg, what's your opinion?
Well, I liked it. I thought it was just a good fun.
on the Kyle star meter, how many stars does it get?
How many katanas?
like high. I mean, it's really good. Stars, I don't know. Like
Out of 10, what would you give it?
I like a nice 8. I'd say.
Oh, that's a fucking good movie.
I
And
mean,
I'm kind of actually
here's
scared
what I
now
think
because I'm
is-
just
So
thinking.
I like your taste in movies.
Here's
So.
without any spoilers or why I think it's good. So like Deadpool comics came out like at a time, or at least I started reading them at a time where like every comic book like was this kind of, and it was because I was buying them, like a gritty dark story like about a brooding character that's beating the crap out of everybody, seeking vengeance.
Yeah.
He's muscle bound and basically invincible. And Deadpool was a funny half of it. It's talking about like fucking or some nonsense, like just doing
Movies.
weird shit. It was just crude humor for the sake of crude humor, which is fine when that's what you're seeking
So
out.
watching an episode of South Park.
Yeah, exactly, and I enjoyed it for that. And this movie is coming out at the exact right time, I think, for that same stagnation's happening with the movies. Like every Marvel, every DC thing is this like big, huge, we're saving the world problem, and everything's on the line, and my life is shitty, and being a hero sucks or whatever. Like they're all, it's all the same thing. And this is coming out and being more lighthearted, poking fun at itself, poking fun at the whole genre.
Is it
And-
similar in style to Guardians of the Galaxy?
Well, like in the sense that it's funny, yeah. But I wouldn't say like this is an R-rated movie
It's-
that uses that R-rated movie to the full extent.
Well,
Yeah.
the only thing
Is there nudity?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
like
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Did
It's
Kick-Ass-
probably the first Marvel movie with nudity.
yeah. And that's based on a Marvel. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
What
it's
about
not a
Blade?
Marvel.
Did Blade have nudity?
I don't know if those are R-rated or not. But anyway, like it's
18A. That's Canada
Yeah.
rating. I feel like rated R is probably what it was rated.
in the state. Well, yeah. But it's definitely like it's coming out in a time that it's freshening up something that I was getting sick of. Like
What,
I was
superhero movies?
Yeah, like I'm always basically I only go to the theater, and it's my fault to see those movies because those are the big blockbuster movies.
Well, I was just going to ask, what is your opinion in general on superhero movies? So I can compare it
Yeah,
to...
like I think I go and I enjoy the big ones. Like I saw the first Avengers after seeing like all the other ones. Like it was cool to see all these characters I knew from comics on screen. So I had that like anticipation where I just really wanted to see them on screen. Now through the second cycle, you see the second Thor. I'm like, who really gives a shit? Second Captain America was good, but I didn't really care as much as like the first time you saw him on screen and stuff. And now it getting into like Marvel's third phase and everything, I was getting tired of them. But there's good ones, but they're not all great, and then like nostalgia's worn off for just seeing them. But I think in this one, it's just like I don't know, it breathes life into it. It's,
I know what you're saying. I'm getting sick of the point of it's like, well, a big part of being a fanboy like 50% of my life is defending the things that I like, you know, and it's almost just like, how do you like this? It's so silly, you know, and to say, you know, it's like, oh, I really like Captain America, and I did enjoy these movies, to be honest. You know, it's like, I don't want to have to defend why I like these things, and to be honest, Deadpool seems that everyone is willing to just jump on board. And I don't want to be like, oh, it's like a bandwagon we can jump on board, but it's, you don't have to be a huge fan of the comic industry for a long time, or Deadpool, it's like, yeah, you can just,
well,
that's
at this
the point.
point, you can be a big fan of the movies, and you would have been a fan for a long time. You know, it's been, what was it, 2008 that Iron Man came out? So you could be watching these movies for, you know, coming on 8 years.
Is a long time
That's
to
a long
say,
time
yeah,
to be
you're
a fan of Marvel and know a fair amount about the lore just through those movies. So this, I feel
like I'm a comic book fan. Like, I would not dispute that. I don't think either of you guys would dispute. I'm a fucking comic book fan. I'm a comic book writer.
Yeah, you collect and everything.
But I feel like there's probably people out there who have never read a comic book that know more about the Marvel lore than I do.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And I've actually read a lot of Marvel, too.
Yeah.
But just from these massive amounts of movies, there's a lot of lore out there that is official, like, film canon, I guess.
Yeah, and there's no end in sight for it. You know, like they've announced movies coming into like 2020.
And they're getting into like Inhumans and stuff. Like that's
and
a lot
and
of story they're covering.
I don't even know who that is, to be honest.
Now there's
the Black Bolt.
I dipped out of Marvel, man. Like when the movie universe got so big, I was like, man, fuck it. Like I'm not gonna double dip. I don't want to read comics and then watch all these movies. So I'm just gonna watch these shows.
Well, because you get invested in invested in stories.
Yeah, I do, and it was like same with DC.
I mean, they confuse each other.
It pisses me off.
So like, it would be impossible for you to read a Green Arrow comic and watch the show.
Oh man, I would just be frustrated. Which is why, like, when the New 52 took over and everything that I had been invested in was now for naught, I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to reinvest because you guys want me to. I was happy buying all my comics, and you guys are like, nah, fuck it. But now all the TV shows, it's like now I've found a new place or like a new way to get like my DC fix, and I don't have to buy comics that after issue 20 you're gonna be like, fuck it, we're going back to number 1. No, that's not how this works.
Well, you're looking for an end.
I am looking for an end, or at least like a conclusion. You know, like don't just fucking halfway through a story be like, oh, you know what? Actually, we're gonna rewrite number 1 and basically start over. So go ahead and just throw out your comic collection.
Well, it's like Alan Moore. His biggest stance is end your fucking story. If you're gonna,
exactly. Like your characters can go on. That's fine. Your characters don't have to die. End the story that fucking character's involved in.
I think we talked about this a bit last week with ripping on
Mark Miller.
Kirk Mendon complaining about Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Mark Miller at least ended his shit.
Yeah.
I will give him that. Speaking of Mark Miller, I was thinking like Kick-Ass has got to be like the closest movie out that Deadpool is going to be like.
Yeah, that's a fair comparison. Like, I mean, obviously, character-wise, completely different. Deadpool has
I just mean like the violence.
Yeah, like the violence, kind of funny.
The adult approach.
Yeah,
which is exciting to see.
The weirdest thing about Kick-Ass was it was about kids. But they still treat it like an adult film.
Yeah, which got weird.
Which is weird because, and this has been a big thing forever in like horror movies especially, like these child actors in films that they're legally not allowed to watch.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to do.
Yeah, you know, like how is the human rights, like how do they get around that, you know?
Well, I mean, legally not allowed to watch, I mean, is there no way that I...
No, I can guarantee they go to the premieres of these films.
Yeah, but can I, if I was a parent,
but I don't know.
If I was a parent, could I not be like, yeah, my kid can go and see this movie?
No, you can. You can take a kid to a rated R movie. You just need an adult to
but no, I think just like morally, it's weird.
Oh, I don't know. Like I mean,
because we're saying as a collective that someone of that age is not allowed to watch that movie.
Okay, but at the same time,
we're letting them act it.
No, but those kids, right?
But they got their parents' permission. Just
because are these parents doing the right thing?
The biggest thing, right, is to draw a disconnect between what you're watching isn't real, right? And a lot of kids can't tell that difference. But if a kid is an actor, they're behind the scenes. they're watching them.
Well,
the
no,
magic is real.
I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, like to them, they're like, oh, I get that this isn't real, and that's the biggest concern.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the line, and the line that you're.
But we can't deny that children have been used in some fucked up scenes.
Yeah, but
for sure.
Oh,
but,
fuck yeah.
But I think it's again, it's like
I don't want to talk about
their parent should know their kid well enough to know, is the child prepared? Like, can they handle this? Do they like understand? And a parent should know that.
Well,
and that's why giving
they
these,
can't.
like,
I'm sure it's been abused.
Yeah, well,
Name,
yeah,
like,
but I mean, kids
I-
get
we
a
can name
couple-
one.
Look at Macaulay Culkin.
I was gonna say, like, there's more fucking unsuccessful child actors. Kurt Russell was a child actor, I'm pretty sure. That guy's fucking
You look at
pretty
like
sound.
I think
A
great
lot. Josh
example-
Brolin. He was a child actor.
Was he?
I think
Yeah.
a good example is like
He was in
Jodie
Goonies.
Foster in Taxi Driver. Like I know that like she had to go through like a psychological exam before or after that movie, I think. Like because of like the ending scene in that, her being involved in it. Was,
have you guys seen the movie Funny Games?
No.
Funny
Oh,
Games?
That's where
maybe.
like Jimmy from Boardwalk
Yeah.
Empire and some other guy like take a family hostage.
Yeah.
Tim Roth and Naomi Watts were in that movie.
That's
And
a fucked up
apparently
movie.
Tim Roth refused to watch the movie when he finished filming it. He was like, "This is too fucked up. I'm not watching this."
Yeah.
That's cool though. I mean, I get it.
And I feel like that's a good horror movie.
I think there might
Yeah,
be,
it's so fucked up that actors don't want to watch it after because it was so traumatizing to film.
I liked it up until like the last couple of minutes.
like it's weird. I think for
I love that
acting
movie.
in it might like for certain kids be a little bit less traumatizing than actually watching it. Because like they understand then how movies are
It's
made.
probably fun.
You know, they get
Like,
that
oh,
it's fake.
the blood burst out of that guy's head, and I saw how it was hooked up.
And I saw him alive. After,
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
That's
Or,
right, yeah.
Like some kid watching it.
But
never
in
made a movie.
Fantasyland,
Yeah.
not all kids can understand that concept.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Where like a kid who's acting in it knows it's not real. They're acting it. You know, like
Yeah, I'm sure it's fun for a child actor to do a horror movie.
This was always
well,
like
these
a
parts are,
fucking.
yeah, unless it's like some scary ass mask get creeped out of.
But I'm sure you're mature enough that you're like, damn, that's a scary ass mask. This is gonna be a good movie.
yeah. Yeah.
This is like a dark concept. I thought it was kind of funny. It's like in the future, not in the future, just like actors that grow up and like end up getting like Alzheimer's or something and can no longer tell the difference between like
Did you just say Alzheimer's?
Alzheimer's.
I'm
There
so
you go.
sorry. I'm sorry. Just after I'm working at the factory, I heard so many people fucking say Alzheimer's.
Old
Old
timers.
timers. Old timers.
Well, no, but anyway, just like
dementia.
just like dementia in general, right? But like actors that can't tell the difference between like roles they played in real life. Like if when Christian Bale is 80, he starts slipping out of reality and he starts thinking he's Batman. And like you just like start hearing.
Well,
him.
that's Birdman. That's what that movie was about.
Yeah, right. Or like Morgan
Yeah.
Freeman dies when he tries to walk across the ocean.
Morgan Freeman attempts swimming across the Antarctic Ocean.
You know, just like silly things.
That
Or
vast
just
Antarctic
Johnny
Ocean.
Depp fucking loses it. I can see that. He's got a lot of crazy roles. He'd be the scariest.
Who would you predict to be the next
Johnny.
actor?
Johnny
Johnny
Depp.
Depp.
Johnny Depp to go what?
To go
Right?
crazy.
Oh, like my brother and I were talking about
Already
this, and
halfway
my
there.
brother was like
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah, well
I was
he's
like,
already there.
No, but I was like, I come up with like a different scenario. It's like Shia LaBeouf goes crazy, beats a person to death, then tries to fake it, drags them out into public, and makes it look like he hits them with their car, then pleads innocence, and then like.
Then we found out it was a performance film and he ripped it off.
Yeah, and then like the guy actually lived, but went into hiding after for the rest of his life.
Yeah, just
Paper
like
bag on his head.
I could just see Shia LaBeouf faking it.
Yeah, he's quite a character. I think he's fun.
I don't mind it. Yeah.
That art for the
Well,
sake of art.
he's a pretty good actor. I mean,
He's not
he's
bad.
annoying
He does some
in
shit
real
movies,
life,
but like
yeah, like he.
What were
I mean,
those songs?
Transformers movies suck, but I don't think it's really his fault.
But I love the idea that he didn't fucking shower just to get into his role
Oh, for Fury?
and watch horses die.
How do you do that?
That's the story,
Yeah,
right?
how do you set up
Like,
watching?
Well,
that's-
I never heard that watching horses.
Oh,
die.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a true story, right? Tell
That's-
it.
Well, I mean, I don't know that it's a true story. I wasn't there, and I mean, I can't even tell you where I heard this from. But yeah, just that my brother probably told me. And again, like he's a
It's
trusted
just it's a
source.
myth, but it's a
Yeah,
funny
it's a
myth.
legend. But the Shia LaBeouf was like going out to farms and some shit.
What was the movie?
Oh, Fury.
Fury, yeah.
Yeah, right. And in the scene, I think that he's in like they're watching people die, and there's like horses dying or something, and he's supposed to react to it. And so to prep for the role, he went and watched horses die. And then the other one was that like because to prep for the role, he refused to shower, because he said that in wartime like that they wouldn't be able to. So for like weeks at a time he wouldn't shower, and then the rest of the cast
on set it was
he was like
horrible.
complaining because they were such they were
stuck in a tank with them.
Yeah,
that's the way it is. People would get cranky around each other.
Yeah, like Shia LaBeouf got the right reactions. He's like, but is that method acting?
I don't
Sorry,
know. My favorite thing I
acting.
heard about my favorite thing I heard about Shia LaBeouf is a Vice article I read where someone went to this like studio downtown LA. Apparently, you pay to go in, and there's a table with objects on it, and you choose an object, and then fucking.
What are some of the objects?
I can't remember, but they were just random as hell.
We'll say a shoe.
They meant nothing. It meant nothing. So you choose an object, and then someone would escort you into a back room where Shia LaBeouf was sitting at a table, and they would. I don't know if they brought the object with them or they told Shy.
Yeah.
I call him Shy. They told Shy what the object was, and then you would sit there and fucking. Apparently, he would talk to you, or some people claimed he saw there in silence. Like it was.
You chose. Like wrong.
Yeah. Indiana Jones shit.
Poorly.
Yeah, and like he did this for like a few days or like a weekend in downtown LA, a little pop-up shop studio.
Flash art.
Well, like I don't know, a lot of people thought it was bullshit and got upset about it, but whatever. If it wasn't that much money, I would probably pay $50 to go do that.
Why? When you buy a ticket
That's
to
weird.
something you don't know what it's about, like when people did they know they were going to see Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's like.
So wait, so you just bought a ticket to like you get to see Shia?
But they
LaBeouf?
didn't know what was happening. But like as soon as the first person did it, like I'm sure they fucking tweeted like weirdest shit ever, and then eventually Vice was like, "Go."
Well, I don't know how you'd be disappointed if you paid for something you didn't know what you were buying. You're just like,
That's hype. That's art.
that's like, yeah, that's like art. You got to take home that feeling of emptiness. It's like what Shia LaBeouf's life is like, and it costs like what, $25?
Yeah, I have a feeling it wasn't that expensive.
I would hope it wouldn't be like expensive at all.
I don't know. I would pay like
Just
$80
just to see him in his.
No, just to do that.
Just to look
You
at
know,
the
the
table,
experience, the
pick
whole
a
thing.
and then have Shia LaBeouf talk to you. Or
Well,
not
that's
talk.
like
I sit there and talk about Even Stevens the whole time.
I'm just going to go, hey dude, you were in Holes. Remember that?
There was this woman that put on this art show at the Museum of Modern Art in New York where she sat at a table for 3 months and people would pay to go into the fucking museum and sit across the table from her.
That sounds so uncomfortable.
There's an entire documentary about it on Netflix, and honestly, I started watching it, I was like, I'm so pissed off right now. This is the fucking stupidest, lamest thing I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. I teared up by the end of it.
Alright, that's weird.
And I thought it was insanely powerful.
So, did she like
Touch them.
get up and
She
go to the
said
bathroom?
nothing. Yeah. No, not at all. Not during, like, she would only do it during the museum hours. So she would do it 8 hours a day for 3 months in a row.
And sit there, not go pee?
No, but she had something installed in her.
So she had like a catheter.
She not a catheter, but she had like a bedpan in her chair.
You can go fucking 8 hours without taking a piss.
Yeah, no, you can, especially when you're
I
not
couldn't even
drinking
go this whole
anything for 8
podcast
hours.
without peeing.
No, but the biggest thing is that she was in pain by the end of it,
Oh yeah.
and like her back was killing
That's
her.
art? Pain is art.
No, but
Pain
just
is
like
life.
people would just sit there and stare into her eyes, and the footage of it was very powerful.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd see some fucking weird reactions on my face. That just are uncomfortable. I'm just already feel it. I feel uncomfortable just imagining someone staring at me.
You're like bracing yourself right now. Like for the sake of the podcast, you're like Greg does look very
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
it's hard to get Greg
thinking
to
of
sit
it.
across the table for us for an hour in a podcast, let alone 8 hours a day in a museum.
But no, it's a really good documentary. I'll look it up. What it's called.
Is this like a new segment where we're going to answer questions?
Well, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's a good thing.
I like
Yeah,
mystery.
well, after episode 2, we needed to answer some.
Yeah.
It's not mystery? Mysterious?
Shout out to people who listen to episode 2.
Tight your friends.
No, I'm not looking up anything. I'm actually coming up with a topic. But, I don't know, Greg, you got anything? Other than performance art? Because I know you're a real big fan.
And speaking of performance art and like
Nice
edgy
segue.
and controversial,
The film is called The Artist is Present. And that
Speaking about presents now. Go ahead.
no, yeah, but no, works. I'll take whatever you just said and spin it. Say it again.
The artist is
Speaking
present.
about present.
That was the name of the
documentary?
exhibit
Oh,
and
exhibit?
the documentary.
Okay, well, speaking of the artist is present, we were just listening to Kanye West. His new album just
Oh yeah. Well, we'll just say online that one of us has a Tidal account, and that's how we heard it. But there's a possibility
Well, some people, I guess,
we didn't listen to it that way.
Some people were getting it, like, they were paying for the title thing and didn't even
So
get it.
Kyle, I'm assuming you know nothing about this.
I knew that he was releasing it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because Twitter is a thing.
Oh, you
no,
heard about it.
I don't follow Kanye because he doesn't follow me back. But through I did hear that Kanye was releasing a new album, which I can't remember the name of right now. I want to say it was like, it's one word or something, right? Is that-
Man, it's so funny that you say
The Life
that.
of Pablo.
Oh, okay.
No, but
it
it's-
was something else.
No, he changed
it
the name
upon-
multiple
like,
times.
I want to say 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
But I saw the track list.
The
but I
funniest
have not
thing
heard
is
it.
I was on this subreddit called Black People Tweets.
Are they all in caps?
Yeah, or all low
Yeah,
caps.
Black Twitter.
Yeah.
Black people Twitter.
But like the one is like, this motherfucker's releasing his game like a video game. This motherfucker's gonna patch one of his songs.
But
Because
he is releasing a game, too.
That's a thing?
Yeah. Oh, man, I think he put out some footage not that long ago. I haven't actually seen it yet.
That would be
It's
amazing.
about his mother going to heaven, I think.
Oh man.
Man, are you like an angel and you gotta help guide her to heaven?
I don't know. I don't know
Shit.
anything about it except for what I just
damn.
said.
I gotta look this up. Kanye West video game.
All he said about it was that, yeah, it's like he's.
I bet it's gonna be really visually
I
pleasing.
think a little while ago he tweeted like, game like in the works. This shit is hard or something like that. That's all he said.
This shit's hard.
He's like,
Damn,
I'm
these
feeling
puzzle
like,
games is
there's gotta
hard.
be a lot more work going into production of a video game. Like I think he probably sits in a studio, puts out an album in a few days if he really puts his mind to it. You know, where a video game's gonna take a while. It's not like he can like come up with an idea and it's ready to go the next day.
Well, he's a little different, man. He's not like your average rapper that can just punch out or push out a fucking mixtape every month. Where he actually does the production with the music
Yeah.
and shit. So when he drops an album, it is pretty important, you know.
Well,
it's not just a guy rapping over a bunch of people's like computer beats.
What did you think of the album?
I was so confused by how I felt because the auto-tune is everywhere. And I don't have the biggest problem with it. I can get behind it where it's necessary, which is, I guess, arguable. But whenever he rapped on the album, I thought it was fucking
Which
fantastic.
you noticed way more when he stopped auto-tuning. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was great.
I thought it... I'll give it a positive fucking review.
You guys are going to spend like the rest of the podcast feeling like, are they being real?
But no, yeah, like me and Greg are Kanye West fans, for sure. We love to think of him as like an Andy Kaufman type character, but deep down I do genuinely like some of his music.
That's okay.
Probably,
That's weird.
Probably 60% of his music I like.
Okay, so that's a weird thing to say. Like,
We're
I'm
going
a
to see
fan and I only like a little bit above half of his
Yeah,
stuff.
but he's got a lot of fucking music, man.
Fair enough. I don't listen to Kanye West. Like, I know, like, a few songs. You know, the hits, the singles.
You
kinda
just-
thing.
But he's fun to think about.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, it's the lore around him is the greatest part.
Yeah,
You know, it's
he's
like-
definitely a very quotable human being for the weird shit he says and does.
Well, he just put out a song where one of the lines is, "We made $1 million a minute. We made $1 million a minute." And
That's
he's
it.
talking about when he released his Nike shoe.
What's he talking about with
When
the,
it went online, he made $1 million a
the
minute.
fucking,
something
like,
like
this is a god dream?
Yeah, the first song on the new album, "The Life of Pablo," he talked about God dreams.
This is a god dream.
This is a God dream. it's so ridiculous, but it's fun.
If I could pick a fantasy world to live in,
Be Kanye West mine.
yeah. Totally, man.
Lindsay,
Fuck Middle Earth. Fuck Star Wars.
Yeah, I want to
Kanye
live in
West
Kanye
mine.
West's mind.
I like I think it was Lindsay wanted me to make an Urban Dictionary definition the other day, but it ended up already being a thing, pretty close to it, and it was Kanye-fidence.
Kanye-fidence.
You have like Kanye levels of confidence. It's like ascending to a new level of like being sure of yourself.
Kanye-fidence.
Yeah, he's the most sure of himself human being
I love
Ever.
you like Kanye loves Kanye.
Yeah, he's got a song about that too, about how he speaks of himself in the third person the entire time.
And there's something a little
I
bit
check out the album.
inspirational, I guess, about that. But all
And
in
he
all,
talks about himself referring to himself in the third person.
I come from a place of second guessing myself every step of the way, and don't generally have a ton of confidence. So watching someone do that, I'm like, I don't like you because you're too sure of yourself, man. Like I just second guess a little bit of this, and you might be a little better. But I don't know. I'm sure he
admire
really
someone
does.
who regrets very little. It's like.
Well, like that's one of the biggest hypes about the album is that like through Twitter he said he was dropping so many songs. So I guess he is selective.
Yeah, he knows that not everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he does. There's something very entertaining about him. I don't exactly have a grasp on it, and I don't know how he's managed to become so popular when most people don't think. Like, most people consider him a better producer than an actual, like, artist.
His beats are awesome.
Yeah, and so that's interesting, that... But I guess that happens with a lot of rappers and, like, R&B artists, so... I get it, like, you can look at, like, Usher or something, like, people are like, oh, I liked Usher, but then it's like, he was more, like, he became more famous through finding other artists.
Who the fuck is Usher?
Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for saying who the fuck is Usher.
Yeah,
I kind of respect that.
But
something I want to bring up is you tweeted Jeff Lemire the other night. When,
right after the podcast.
Yeah, we podcasted about how to pronounce his name.
We said we're friends with him.
Yeah, and he got right back to you, which is really funny. And his name is Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, I was
Not
glad we
Lemire.
got it right through the whole podcast, so that's good.
Well, to say that we don't know that that's how it was pronounced is probably wrong because we've definitely watched YouTube videos
met him,
of him.
but I mean, like, I didn't ask him how to say his name. When
We've watched.
I think
YouTube
we
videos.
talked about doing that though.
Yeah, and we just didn't do it.
Yeah,
We were just like,
sign my books.
Yeah.
Can you phonetically pronounce your name as you're writing it?
Yeah. But no, that was very nice of him, and thank you.
Well, the funniest thing about like the last time I saw him, I went to go see Dust. What's his name?
Dustin.
Dustin.
Okay, yeah, because last podcast we couldn't remember his name and we're dicks. But it's Dustin, and I do know I could see his last name, but I don't know how to say
Nugent, when?
Like NYG.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, we don't know how to pronounce your name, but Dustin Wen.
Yeah, we'll tweet
I
him
went to
next.
go see him because I knew he was at the Comic-Con in Toronto Fan Expo like 2 years ago, and I brought my Superman books because, like, alongside Jim Lee, he was doing the side story in the Superman stories.
Oh, nice.
So I brought my Superman.
His art's beautiful.
And then I was like, oh, can you please sign these? And I looked to my right beside him, and fucking Jeff Lemire was just sitting there, just like doodling on a piece of paper.
Yeah, I was there.
I was like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking amazing. Well, for the sake of the podcast.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I was just it was for like
I remember that
like
you were
a
there.
good chunk for a good chunk of that story. I was like, man, I wish I was there for that.
And yeah, I remember I had my Justice League Canada on me and like some of my Trillium books. I was like, can you please sign these? And that's when he was first advertising Descender.
Yeah.
We had no idea what it was.
Well, I have their autograph on a print for Descender before Descender even came out.
Yeah, we had no idea what it was. You had the print signed, and now it's one of the biggest image books out. Like issue 1 and went on to like third or fourth printing.
Well, my brother just said he bought all the Descenders and he couldn't find 1 or 2, so he had to buy the trade.
See, well, that's good. We jumped on that.
Yeah, and it's only on issue 9 or 10. It's a great story if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah,
Some
I would
sci-fi.
say like next to Saga or like East to West, it's probably like the top 3.
It's really beautiful. I mean, I was wondering this too, and it kind of. I wish I didn't think about shit like this because it kind of ruins it. But so I'm gonna ruin it for you. Like one of my favorite things about Descender is the backgrounds are really empty. And it's just
What
kind
do you
of
call it unfinished art though?
I don't see. I was gonna say this now. Fucking Mark Miller
Always is writing stories with movie directors, right, and setting shots up like that. Jeff Lemire, Descender got picked like right after issue 1 or right before it got released. Descender was announced that it was going to be picked up for a movie, and I'm wondering if that was intentional then to write the background scenes.
That was an announcement?
Yeah, for it to be vacant so that when you watch the movie, you're not being like
Well,
disappointed that it doesn't.
Do you think it's going to be a
translate.
short story then?
Well,
Because it doesn't seem like that.
Yeah, I don't know, right? But someone bought the rights, right? And I'm wondering then, it's like if you sold the rights, do you intentionally then fucking put
This
as little
is a trilogy.
right? Yeah, we don't know how long the story's going, and I don't want to hate on it because it's a beautiful story and it looks great. Like it's like watercolors and it's like a lot of whites, right? But
It does look like unfinished art, but it's still beautiful.
but I'm hoping that they didn't that it was intentional. Like we have like
We like black and white. We like minimalist color. And so, I mean, if you told me it was all intentional, Jeff, if you're listening, buddy, just send us another tweet. Tell us, see, like, Greg, it was all intentional, the lack of color. It wasn't because we're hoping that some movie director is going to fill that background with some shitty CGI.
Yeah. So,
You know what I mean?
if they were to remake it to, like, keep the same visual aesthetic of, like,
Well,
a
no,
very
but-
minimalist
yeah, like-
look.
Was this just like a fill in the blanks for whoever bought the fucking script?
No, I feel like he knows where the story's going. I feel like it's going to be a really simple story. Because as soon as Tim 21, spoiler alert, meets up with Andy, or whatever, is that the name of his companion? We're going to probably meet the halfway point of the story.
Yeah.
Because we've already met probably half of the races from the planets.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good story. It's like
I feel like the races
like
are
Toy
going to...
Story meets Battlestar Galactica.
I gotta ask though. We kind of ripped on Mark Miller for doing that shit.
Now, some of his,
where
some of his
like
best stuff.
you're writing it for a movie as well as a comic, and you're saying that he left certain art out just so that it could be filled in later in a movie.
No,
Like,
that's
that
not
sounds-
what he meant by that.
Okay, then
Like,
No, we're hope. So it's just very plain art where
In December.
he'll watercolor the characters doing their thing, but sometimes he'll just leave the backgrounds white.
Okay.
So there is something going
But
on
it's
there.
just-
Your imagination fills in the
Okay,
blanks.
so
but he's saying that
happens.
hopefully the director will go use that.
Like,
Okay.
no,
And
if
not
no,
fill in the
like
blanks.
the opposite. It's like
Not use that as a green screen. You know?
Yeah, like that Jeff Lemire and fucking Dustin were just like, oh, we'll leave this blank so that when they make a movie out of it,
No,
they can put whatever
I-
fucking
they're-
they want
they're
in
doing
the
it-
I
background.
just misunderstood.
He's doing like there's no comic art like it.
No,
Really?
it looks great. Like it almost looks like a dream, but it's not.
Yeah, and it definitely gives you like a feeling of the universe if you see that artwork. You're like,
Well,
oh,
because
that's
it
that
does
universe.
work. Like in space, it's all white, but then one planet is kind of red. Like it's like silver on that robot planet. I don't know. Like there is like a color theme. It's good. It's beautiful. It's good.
All right, I got one last question that'll should be quick to end everything on. If you got your mind erased, or could have your mind erased, this was like weirdly a little bit in the news the other day, just because
I
Joe
saw
Rogan-
something about it on Reddit.
Twitter, yeah, and okay, so you've seen like
Eternal Sunshine.
yeah, Eternal Sunshine for a Spotless Mind. So that's happened. You can get that, and you're gonna get the experience of
Total
reading, or watching, or playing a game, a movie, or a comic, or a book for the first time. You just to go back and experience something new again.
For the first time.
What thing would you wipe out? if
With,
you wanna
like,
re-experience
without-
Oh man,
Oh.
this is like a way different podcast because like, fuck me, like that's
What
so
do you mean,
dangerous.
way different.
No,
I want to say
know.
that's a whole other topic because like there's ways to like experience something new for the first time without erasing your memories. It's just like
I'm
an
just
altered
giving a
perspective.
hypothetical.
No,
We don't need to
yeah.
get too far into the depth of it.
Hypothetical? No, it's dangerous and you lose your soul.
No.
What
Okay.
are
I'm
you
not saying
talking
go
about?
do
It's
it.
a really simple question.
Yeah,
Man.
I'm not actually gonna erase your mind, Greg. It's just a hypothetical. What would you want to re-experience again?
Because that's how you lose your soul.
Yeah, don't worry. I won't take your soul, Greg.
Fuck, man. See, so like with the hindsight, knowing how much I loved it, I would probably therefore have to pick the thing I loved the most.
Like, didn't we go to see Danny? It's pretty
But
fucking
some
awesome.
things that I love a lot aren't necessarily that I love them the first time I read them or played them. For a video game, like
like what about like maybe not feeling it because you're not in the right mood that time,
but,
and then not actually getting into
But
it.
what about something where you feel like you didn't get into it?
So there
and
are
now,
repercussions.
But now, if you went back and experienced it for the first time, maybe you would. Like a different headspace.
I don't know. Like I have some easy ones to
Those
throw
are
there,
short,
but
quick You've got like a quick question.
Yeah, this is not a quick question.
Well, I didn't honestly expect such a.
No, but it's fine.
This
We
one
can
reaction
roll
to
as
it.
long as we
Well,
want.
what's your answer? Why don't you? Because you thought it was gonna be an easy question.
No, well, honestly, I
So
kind of.
if you could rewrite history just for yourself.
Oh, like, age is a big thing too, because like there's so many things from when I was a child. Like, I want to say Indiana Jones, but if I were to never have seen Indiana Jones and I watch it now as an adult, it's not going to be the same thing.
No, I mean a lot of people don't.
So
like
it has to be something that I would still like as an adult.
Yeah, something kind of modern.
Because I wouldn't want to lose it, you know?
Some things are lost in time, right? Like you play like GoldenEye now or something, right? That doesn't have the same, it's gone.
You
right?
know, it's nostalgia.
Yeah,
so like
something-
nostalgia has to be aside with this question.
Yeah, it's be gone.
Yeah. So it has to be fairly modern.
But then
or
still
something you
Well,
at
we-
least experienced.
Well,
recently.
we made jokes that.
Maybe the Inkle.
Ooh, okay, yeah, that's a good one.
reread the ankle.
So the Inkle is a book by Mobius and Alexander Jodorowsky.
Jodorowsky.
Jodorowsky. He's the guy that Jodorowsky's Dune is all about. It's on Netflix. If you've never seen it,
It was
definitely
anyway.
watch that. Yeah, it's like just an epic tale, and I read it about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
and it was epic. It changed the way I looked at storytelling, and I just remember like it was something that I actually got hyped on, where like I would text Greg when I got to a certain point, being like, "Oh my fucking god!"
Yeah, well, we had a hardcover of it, and we were reading it at the same time, and like so you could see each other's bookmarks, and you would know when I read past what Cody had read, or when he had read past what I'd read, and yeah, that was fun. It was that was a good, but I don't know that it was like worth fucking risking my soul just to read that again.
Yeah, I don't know, that's the one I would just easily throw out. What about you, Kyle?
Mine would definitely be it'd be in video games. Like, well, there's like a difficulty in thinking about what game, like I said, would
See, I would
stand
do
the test of time.
I would do the Witness again right now.
Yeah, you just go back like
It's been about a week. It's just like, no, yeah, I would love to just like, I'll start again without knowing.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
See, for me, I would think, yeah, it's probably ones we already talked about. It's like Portal or The Legend of Zelda, like Ocarina of Time, where that rediscovery of like that feeling of like I've accomplished
See, do you
so much.
think Ocarina would hold up? Because imagine if Ocarina of Time came out today as an indie
Yeah,
game
I was gonna
that
say,
Zelda never came out before.
I think it would.
It would be amazing.
Yeah, and I honestly like I'm replaying it right now. Like I just started. I have it for 3DS. Like they remade it there, and you know, so it has perfectly passable modern mobile graphics. Like it doesn't look shitty. Like it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look like terrible anymore. So you can see it again in a passable visual style. And yeah, like I'm going through, but I'm like, you know, I'm not talking to people that aren't important. You know, I'm just like I know where I need to go all the time. I'm running. Like,
But
now it's just muscle
part
memory.
of the story, man.
Yeah, but now it's just muscle memory. You know, I played through that game like
Is
7
it still
times.
rewarding now though?
No, it's not.
Imagine if
It's
you
not.
could erase it and then talk to all these people again and be like, "This is a world I've never discovered."
No, then it would be cool.
Because
Right now,
Ocarina
it's,
was definitely the first Zelda game I ever played.
Yeah, it was the first
I
one.
might have
played.
watched my dad
I
play
just
one
see
of
this
the earlier
plan
ones.
backfiring, like you go like getting like a Zelda tattoo and then being all for it, just get your memory erased and like Kyle.
What is it? What does the
No,
Triforce mean?
Yeah, you go and play Zelda.
And then you play the Witness. It's like,
Stupidest
this is a symbol I've never seen.
Yeah.
the dumbest fucking game I've ever played.
That could. That's the danger in backpedaling.
Yeah.
The real danger
It
is
is a
not
dangerous
your
game.
soul being lost. But I
Man,
mean, yeah,
so
that is-
that's just it. It's like if anyone's out there listening, you probably want to go back and wish you never listened to these podcasts.
Yeah. Anyways, this
Great.
has been a fun episode.
You can re-listen to it again for the first time.
Yeah, we're at the 1 month mark. We'll keep doing it. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel.
and the SoundCloud channel.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter at 2vs3.
Thank you for listening again today. I'm Kyle.
I'm Cody.
I'm Greg.
You're Kyle.
It happens. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.